Howdy, folks. I'm not sure if this is working or not. This is the first time I've done this on my own. So just thought, let me see here. Let's see if it's working or not. Okay. That's the first time I've done this on my own. So just thought, oops. All right, I had that playing in the background there. So, all right, let's get rid of that. Okay, so I thought I would talk about a few things just for myself here. One, to test out this mic. Two, to test out to see if YouTube Live works, and I hope it does. Since there's nobody in here right now, I'm talking to myself, but I think it says live in the top right corner. Hopefully everyone can hear me. The green light's going up and down, so I think so. It's like 100 degrees in this room, so I hope I'm not sweating too much. But topic of the conversation is summer is slow. My eBay sales suck, and that is true, they do. But maybe it's my fault. It's definitely my fault. So I had a few things that I wanted to basically journal for myself. Hopefully I'll force myself to do these things. So a few tips to combat the summer slowdown that everyone talks about. So basically, I've been at eBay for a while, but I kind of went away and I did Amazon. So I've left and brought back and left and brought back my eBay. And it's just, that's not a good thing. So what I probably have about 600 listings, give or take. But I'm not really listing consistently. So I'll go through the things that I think I need to start doing. Number one, I need to remember that it's not Q4. It's something that we kind of get wrapped up in a little bit. We see January sales, February sales are pretty good too. And then they start to drop and they go up and down. And then once summer starts, we all kind of get a little bit down, or at least I do, because sales don't come as easily as they did a few months earlier or a few months later. So that's the first thing. And then next thing I would say that I've started to do, and it's actually started to help, because I went probably about a week with zero sales, like nothing. I don't really look at watchers anymore because I've had plenty of items that have been watched, never sold, and then have never had zero watchers and then sold immediately. So watchers are something I ignore. But the first thing I started doing was going through all my listings. I started with the title. Editing titles I thought was really important, but not just editing them, because I've done this thing where I just add a word here, add a word there, and it didn't really do anything. So first thing I did was take a look at that same item being sold by somebody else recently within a month. What did they write in their title? How is it different? How is it different from what I've written in mine? And that's sometimes something you can help. I mean, if there's no comps, that's another story. It's probably not a very good item then. But so next thing after that was looking at better keywords. I mean, what are the words I'm using in my title? How am I listing them? What's the first word compared to the last word? Am I using all the characters in that listing? Am I using too many characters in the listing? So that is something I switched around as well. I'll try and edit that as much as possible, not just one word, one letter, add an exclamation point. That doesn't help. Am I using too many pointless words? That's another thing. With, and, the, that just take up space, that don't have a reason. So that's another thing. So the next thing that I was thinking about doing was, the title, does it something that makes sense? Because sometimes it's not just a matter of editing title. It's like, does my title make sense? If it's a very rare item, maybe something you don't have a comp for, something there's no description for, that's easy to describe. So I had this with a couple of antique items that I had. So I had to go in, and at first I was just describing items incorrectly. I think it was an ashtray that I described as a metal dish or something like that. So as soon as I started using the word ashtray, or it's an antique ashtray. Then it started to get some hits. It still hasn't sold, but at least you can see the viewership has gone up. So that's another thing I did. I've heard a lot of people now talk about pictures and how you should max out 12 pictures. This is something I never did. I always thought it was a waste of time. I'm starting to see that actually does help. I have 12 pictures in probably the last 20 listings I've done, or at least 11. And what I do is a lot of times, let's just say you're taking a picture of a CD, so you can't really take 12 unique pictures. I'll kind of just take a blast and it's basically the same picture used 3 or 4 times, but it's just slightly different. And eBay is okay with that. So, I mean, why not? Max it out if you can. For pictures that I've taken in the past, if I still have them on my computer or my storage, then I'll try and add to a previous listing. Say if it's an old listing, I'm trying to add pictures to. But if I don't, it's kind of a tough thing. I'll try and take new pictures if I can. Just go back and do it like 5 at a day, bit by bit by bit. It takes a while, but I think it does help. Pictures seem to be something that really help your listings move. And as many pictures as possible, I would say, help move, especially if it's something that has a little bit of damage to a box or something like that. You really want to zoom in and take, well, that's even easier. You can take 10 pictures of a dent or something like that. So, okay, so next thing after pictures is I looked at descriptions. With this was a little bit easier because I had a lot of HTML in some of my listings from before, and now eBay is taking a lot of those down. So not only did I take that out, but I started editing the descriptions, changing what was written in there, changing the format, and really adding text. So it's something that really, really helped. I started to, let's see, who is this? Online now. Okay, sorry. So anyway, descriptions. I kind of went in and I added as much text as possible, not overbearingly. Like, for example, if it's something that I could look up, I mean, a description at a website or like Wikipedia or something like that, I'll grab a line from there, I'll edit it a little bit. So I'm not, using somebody else's stuff, and then I'll add that in there. And you never know what keywords are in there that might help sell your item. If you're talking about, I don't know, a vintage Hard Rock Cafe jacket, you can look up Hard Rock Cafe. You could look up jacket. You could look up, leather, denim, corduroy, whatever it is. And that text, something in there might help, especially if there aren't many comps to look at to compare to. So I've started doing that. I'm starting to see a little bit more traction also. Also, on top of that, mixing things up. By mixing things up, I mean, I don't really do auctions at all. And I've heard some people say it works. Some people say it doesn't. They never really worked for me ever. I thought that auctions, basically, they would run their course and then you get a lowball offer with somebody just using software to wait till the end. But I mean, if you set your price high enough to where the lowest bid, even if there's one bid, you'll make your money back and make enough to where you're okay, then that's okay. And I do that with items that have been sitting for, a month, 2 months. I have items that are sitting for 6 months, more than that. So I'll just have my lowest bid as my bare minimum, including, whatever I'll be willing to take for the item. And then that's it. I'll let it go because I want to see if I can move on stuff. And this is probably the worst time of year to try this, but it doesn't hurt to move items. Next thing, I need to start listing consistently, like every day, at least 5 to 10 items a day, if not more. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this now. So I can watch this video tomorrow and say, oh yeah, that guy yesterday kind of looks like you. He told you to list 5 to 10 items a day at least. So that's part of the reason I'm doing this, is to make myself do the things that I'm actually saying that I should be doing right now, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But list. And especially listing different items, because I got into this mode where I was doing sell similar. And then, I thought, okay, that's a listing. And then I would, I'd do all the things that I just talked about above, but then stuff still didn't really change that much. So, but as soon as I started listing new items plus editing my items, adding pictures, descriptions, all that stuff, then stuff started to sell. So you do have to list items. I mean, that's how eBay makes their money. So they want more stuff again and again and again and again. So you look active, their site looks active, etc. So you got to list items, try and get on a schedule. I like to do them in the evenings or in the mornings, early, straight away in the morning. I'll relist whatever didn't sell the night before. And then the evenings, I'll probably either take pictures and list, or I will have stuff ready to go to list from pictures I've taken earlier in the morning, and then kind of go from there. So, and then last couple of things. I'm not sure if this is 5 or 10 things. I'm not sure what number this is yet. So list in different categories. What I noticed is that I used to get into a mode where I would list only one type of thing for like a week straight. So I'm only going to list polo t-shirts, or I'm going to list, shoes or jeans or whatever it is. And then I've noticed that your listings look boring. They also kind of blend in together. At least for me, I know they're not going to show up like that on eBay, but in my head they do. So if you list like, take 5 and 5 and 5 and 5, like 5 shirts, 5 video games, 5 antiques, whatever you have, at least if you can do like 3 different things and mix them up and list them all on the same day, that'd be a good thing. So if you have 5 items, 3 of them be different, or at least 2 of them be different, then I think that helps. I mean, nobody really knows what trips the eBay algorithm, but I think these things do. I think edits, changes, manipulation, and obviously white hat manipulation in a good way is something that is, I think, going to be beneficial for your account. Let's see here. So that's another thing. List in different categories, new categories if possible. If you never listed in, I don't know, home, I don't know what like the specific categories are called, but like kitchenware and, mugs and whatever, even if it's something that doesn't really sell that well, just list one. And just so you'll always have that in your, in your store. I mean, it makes your store look better anyway. Another thing is the kind of the ancillary things like accepting returns. I know eBay is trying to push, I think it's the 90-day, 60-day returns, something like that. I never did that before. I never accepted returns. Then I went to 14-day returns. Now I think I'm at 60-day returns. I kind of just gave up. If people are going to ask for a return, they'll ask for a return. They'll go through PayPal if they have to. So just accept them and list that you accept them. The more you can try and be top rated, the better. I'm top rated and I barely sell anything. So, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad or what, but I think it really, really helps to do all the things that they're asking for, because there's a reason they're asking for them. They think they're going to make more money. And if you make more money and they make more money, everyone's happy. It's a win-win. So that's what I would do. Accept returns. And when you do accept returns, I don't even bother really with kind of going back and forth. I'm a little paranoid about negative feedback. Luckily, right now I'm at 100%, and I want to keep it that way, especially when I start selling more items. I mean, I guess you're going to get disgruntled people now and then, but hopefully you can avoid that as much as possible with the little things. If you can let things go, just move on to listing. That's the most important thing, rather than wasting your time with a return. Just accept it, move on, and that's it. And then I guess other things, the only other thing I could possibly think of is free shipping, something I used to do at the beginning. Then I stopped doing it for a long time. And now I started doing it with stuff that's £1 and under. Or if it's something that I don't know, it's a bigger item that I know the exact shipping and I'm not going to send it internationally. Maybe it's a local pickup, then, I'll waive the shipping, can do a local pickup or something. Usually it's £1 and under, like shirts and stuff like that. I'll do free shipping. And most of the other stuff I charge shipping for. I haven't moved 100% to free shipping for everything, even though I think eBay wants that. I don't think I feel comfortable doing that. At least charging a base rate, say for shirts and stuff, I try to charge a base rate of like $6. For shoes, similar. I don't have that many different items. Most of my items are lighter items, a lot of media, a lot of clothing, jackets and the such. So I try and my shipping isn't that bad. I don't really have super heavy things. So if I was to eat $1 or $2 for shipping, that's okay. And yeah, that's it. Basically, those are my tips for fighting the summer slowdown. And I'm hoping that was okay. I was looking down there because I was reading the whole time. So, but I'm not sure if there's anybody in here. Let me take a look. Howdy, Russ. I have one person in here. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So, what can I say? So other than that, that's all I have for now. I do have this YouTube channel is connected to our main channel. It is the Reseller Niche Podcast. We interview people. We're looking for new people to interview, actually, of all kinds, sell on all platforms, eBay, Etsy, Amazon. None of those at Craigslist, local sales, auction, Facebook Marketplace, whatever. If you sell somewhere, we want to interview you. It doesn't matter about the size of the shipper. Or you've never, maybe if you're a buyer, that'd be cool too. Businesses, we kind of try to interview everybody. We just started about a month ago. So check us out if you can. We've got a Facebook group too. I'll put that below. We're going to be doing live shows too. Myself and David Maradiega did one 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Was it Thursday? So it's Monday. So I'm going to see if I can do more of these. And maybe next time I'll do kind of a recap. I'll have my notes together so I can go over what my sales are. Because right now I do mainly Amazon, probably about 95% Amazon, about 5% eBay, and then maybe 4.5% eBay and 0.5% Etsy. And my goal is to increase that 5% to maybe 50% because, all the stuff, you never know. Amazon, I'm way too heavy into Amazon right now. It's easy or easier for me, but I need to list, kind of cross list and do some other stuff. So I will talk to you guys next time, and thanks for tuning in and have a good one. Bye.